Good morning, plankers. This is Pat, one of your coordinators in your plank page. You have myself, you have Jess, and then you have Cindy. If we add any more administrators, I'll be sure to let you know, and then they will, of course, need to do a video to introduce themselves. Jess, we need you to introduce yourself. Basically, what I'm going to show you, Cindy covered your basic planks and how to make sure that you had proper alignment and to make sure that you weren't getting that curve in your neck. That's typically where people start to feel it when they're planking, and also in their lower back. So if you start to feel pain in your lower back, A, make sure that your core is engaged, and B, make sure that you're dropping to your knees if you need to, okay? Does it take anything away? You will build yourself up to where you're holding that full plank in a standard position for your minute, hopefully all the way up to 4 minutes. What I want to focus on is, I know that we have different levels of athleticism, and people have been planking for a while, or those that are just starting their journey. Those that are just starting, I want you to stick with the basic plank format and make sure that you modify when you need to. My advanced plankers, if you are holding that plank already for a minute, then I want you to consider changing it up every 30 seconds, meaning changing the position of that plank so that you're working different muscle groups and putting more emphasis on one side versus the other, because you're going to change it up every day. Okay, so I'm going to show you a different variations on the plank where we're removing limbs and we're returning to the side, and it just makes it a little bit more difficult. It challenges you. We don't want you to be comfortable in these planks because that's not where change occurs. Change occurs when your body is uncomfortable, okay? It's not painful, but it's definitely uncomfortable. You break a sweat, and you can definitely do so in a plank series, okay? So I'm gonna move over to the mat and let's get busy. Okay, so Cindy showed you basic plank, okay? Again, fingers are spread, and you walk the feet out, and they're slightly shoulder width apart. You can also have them together, okay? Here you have wrist in alignment with your elbow all the way up to your shoulders. And I want you to make sure those glutes are tightened and you tuck. Notice you take the bow out of your back. So you don't want to be up here, okay? You want to make sure that you drop that chest just a little bit. Hold it nice and strong. Head is extended out in front of you. And you want to keep that neutral spine from your neck all the way down through your cervical spine, okay? Always you can take this down to the knees. Even when you drop to the knees, you don't necessarily need to bring the feet up. The feet up helps you keep your hips in alignment with your shoulders. You can always leave them down to the floor. Just remember, don't be here. Make sure that you drop the hips, don't bow the back, chest is up, and head is directly pointed towards the front. Don't be looking down, and don't be looking up. Okay, hold it straight out in front. Good. You also have the forearm option. Feet are up and out. Good. And they can also be down, and you're still planking, okay? My advanced plankers, we're going to take this to a side plank. You have a side plank on a forearm or on a fully extended arm. What you want to make sure of in your side plank, shoulder and elbow are in alignment. You can have a fist, you can have a flat hand. It's whatever's comfortable for your wrist right here. The feet are very important. You have two levels. You have a staggered and then you have a stacked. The staggered is going to be a little bit easier because the weight is evenly distributed between the legs, okay? But you want to make sure of here, shoulder, hip, and ankle, all in alignment. Arm comes up, okay? This is the forearm side plank, okay? And then if you're modifying, you drop that bottom leg and keep all of this in a straight line. And that is your side plank. You're going to feel a little bit more stress in that shoulder and a little bit more work in the arm as you're supporting on one hand, okay? And of course, flip into the other side. The full extension on this plank, get your wrist in a position that's comfortable for you. Make sure that the wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder are in alignment. Again, back to the stacked. Okay, you want a straight line from this hand all the way down to the other hand. This is your staggered position. Coming back into the stacked position, okay? Good. Now from here, to make this a little bit harder, you lift one leg, okay? And you can see me wobble, okay? So that one's a little bit difficult. Try holding that for 30 seconds and then changing to another position. See how my hip just dipped? Make sure you hold it up. Good, and then set it down. Bring that hand forward and set the knees down. In your basic plank position, 2 options that you may want to try. I want you to take one hand and place it somewhat in the center underneath your chest, because we're going to take that opposite hand and reach it straight out in front. Notice you still have a good plank position and you're reaching out. Good. You don't want to be wavering back and forth. You just want to be holding that plank. And then, of course, doing the other side. You can also lift the legs one at a time, holding that plank. And then the other side. Good. And each of those you want to hold 30 seconds. Your advanced movement here is one arm, one leg, opposite sides. So you hold right here. And then you can switch. Ah, you can tell that's my weak side right there. Good. Making sure you keep that alignment. So some great options there for you to try. Of course, work your way up to this. This is going to be 30 seconds. We're also doing 100 push-ups a day. That's another group that we have going. And of course, that sounds like a lot, but it's actually, you can break it up into 10s. So you're splitting those 100 push-ups out throughout your day. And of course, different variations on that as well. Lots of modifications. We've got some pregnant people and they're doing push-ups. We've got people that have never done a push-up in their life. So if it's something that you want to do, we are starting that on Monday. Make sure that you message us below and we'll make sure that you get in. Now I have to come back over here. It's the nonchalant way of shutting off this video. And I look forward to all of your videos, all of your comments, and all of your photos. This is a journey and we're all in this together. Talk to you guys soon. It's not going off. Hang on. Technical difficulties.